Good afternoon. Explain me what's the role of the Center for Fundamental Rights based in Hungary, and you have an office in Spain also.
The Center for Fundamental Rights is the largest conservative legal think tank of Hungary, but we rather call it a do tank. We not only care about analysis or opinion polling or book publishing, but our aim is to do some action. That's why we launched the CPAC Hungary 6 years ago. CPAC Hungary is about action, is about bringing the different right-wing national forces together at the international level. Because that is one of our most important aim, to show the world, to realize the nightmare of the liberals, that we conservatives, we localists, we nationalists, we are able to team up globally, because I truly believe that we already acknowledged that the threat against our most cherished values, the values of God, homeland, and the family, the threat is global and globalist. So we should give an anti-globalist but global answer to that. And that is what we are trying to do here in Hungary, not only my center, but a lot of Hungarian conservative think tanks, do tanks, institutions, to galvanize this conservative renaissance or counter-revolution in Europe, but not only Europe, but also in the US, or with respect to the US, or with respect to the Spanish-speaking world, because we would like to act not only as a bridge, but as a hub for conservative get-togethers. If it comes to our friends from the United States, if it comes to our friends from the Spain, or if it comes to our friends from the Iberosphere. That's why we established our office in Madrid a few months ago, because we do feel that there is a lot more that connects us than divides us if it comes to the Spanish-speaking Hungarian conservative relations, and that it's a very important political goal to not only to know about our friends in the Spanish-speaking world, but to find our friends in the Spanish-speaking world and build a real community with them.
But we have in Spain a social communist government.
Let's call them communists.
We have the culture war going up, all the media, or the main media, TV stations are spreading bad image or bad propaganda about Hungary, about Donald Trump, about Vox. How can you deal with it? How can we fight against that propaganda, that woke culture? They have more resources, they have more media, so what's the secret to fight against them?
Look, first of all, a friend in need is a friend indeed. That's why we are together with our friends from Vox and from Spanish conservatives. They are not in power, they are not in the government, but we should be together with them, and that is true for our friends from South America, who are nowadays in opposition or under the communist oppression of different socialist regimes in South America. The way how we can fight this war, as I mentioned, to not only to concentrate on party politics or everyday politics, it's important as well, but to concentrate on culture, to concentrate on the media, to concentrate on how you can reach out to people in non-political ways. And of course, on the other hand, while we should learn from the progressives, from the liberals, how they are so successful if it comes to soft methods or seemingly non-political methods. Meanwhile, or parallel to this, a real conservative force should also pay attention how to make politics, how to get the political know-how, and how to build up and how to operate a party as a mass movement. That's why part of the Hungarian success story is that the Hungarian conservative movement itself, including the right-wing party, but including the whole environment, is very well organized. That was way different 15 or 20 years ago. But nowadays, we learned a lot from the left, from the liberals. The only difference between us and them, that they are fighting for the bad cause, while we are fighting for the good cause, the causes of God, homeland, and family.
What do you think about the Spanish correspondent that writes that Hungary is a dictatorship, or Hungary is friends of Vladimir Putin, just to attack the reputation of a country that is growing up, no, in the economy?
Look, when they use the word rule of law or dictatorship, those are political buzzwords for witch hunting, political witch hunting. If you take a look at the Sanchez government, what are they doing nowadays with the courts? What are they doing nowadays with the conservative Spanish media? Or how they teamed up with terrorists only because they so wanted to remain in power? That tells a lot about the concept of democracy of the Sanchez government. If it comes to Russia from a conservative Hungarian standpoint, to tell the truth, it's not about Putin, it's not about Zelensky, it's not about Moscow or Kiev, it's about Hungary, and it's about the Hungarian interest. There is an ongoing war in our neighborhood in Ukraine. And we Hungarians, we do know from our history of the 20th century that war is bad and peace is good. And what we cannot understand nowadays is that although the European Union itself was created as a peace project, if you take a look at the very first sentence of the Treaty on the European Union, that says the goal of the European Union is peace. And now, what do we see and hear from the capital of the European Union, Brussels? We do hear the voices of the warmongers. Mm-hmm. That's very strange, at least for me, that leaders of a peace projects are nowadays warmongers. And it's one thing that they do not pay attention to the Hungarian interest. And Hungarian interest is about how we can end this war in our neighborhood and how we can end this bloodshed, which was caused, of course, by Russian aggression by Vladimir Putin himself. But from a geopolitical point of view, it's extremely bad for Europe as well, because at least until the war and until the sanctions implied by the European Union, there was some kind of relationship between Europe and Russia.
Hungary left communism and the country is growing up with Viktor Orban governments. What are the secrets of the success of Hungary?
Viktor Orban delivered a speech 2 years ago at CPEC Hungary in Budapest. And there he offered a 12-point recipe of conservative success for our international friends. I would like to highlight only one point of the Hungarian conservative success. Do not play by the liberals' rules. That's very important. All of the so-called, sorry for saying this, all of the so-called conservative parties of the West, Germany, Partido Popular in Spain, and all of the other ones, their political aim was to get some good coverage from El País, from the New York Times, or from the German progressive media. And that's why they began to play by their rules. That's why they became so soft on migration, on gender issues, and at the end of the day, nowadays, there is no real difference between CDU, CSU, and the Social Democratic Party of Germany. There is no real difference if it comes to the most important social issues between Partido Popular and Sanchez PSOE. There is no real difference between the so-called center-right and leftist liberal parties, because the center-right, in the past 30-40 years, they began to play by the liberals' rules. They began to adopt to the policies and standpoint of the left on migration, multiculturalism, border protection, gender, sexual revolution, etc. That's why Donald Trump was and is so successful in the US, because he stopped being part of this uniparty system And he said that enough is enough. Enough with the rhinos, the so-called Republicans in name only. We should put the interest of the US first. We should put America first. And we shouldn't make politics just in order to gain some kind of positive coverage from the New York Times or from the CNN. And this is the very Hungarian recipe as well.
What do you expect from the European elections?
My hope is that there will be, at the European level, my hope is that there will be a very clear alternative to the existing European uniparty system composed of the European People's Party, the Socialists, the Liberals and the Greens, that there will be a very clear conservative right-wing alternative to this uniparty system. There will be a real political renaissance or revolution of the common sense. And if we speak about common sense, we should also talk about peace. And my hope is that not the warmongers, but the pro-peace European forces, and the voice of the pro-peace European voters will dominate the next European Parliament.
What do you think when in Spain the illegals can stay in my country, the immigrants, illegals, they can come to my country and can stay and can have money from the states? What do you think as a Hungary citizen?
Look, what the Hungarian government and the Hungarian right implemented is border protection on the southern border. We actually built that wall in order to prevent illegal migrants to come to Hungary, and we also implemented a legal, that was the part of the story, that was the physical border protection, but there is also a legal border protection, making illegal migrants to come or to stay in Hungary nearly impossible. So nowadays, the number of illegal migrants in Hungary is roughly around zero.
That sounds good. So, thank you very much for your time and congratulations for your work.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.